Hello everybody, so it's Nick and today we're going to put together the Keter Store It Out Ultra plastic outdoor storage unit, and unfortunately I've jumped ahead, but I'm going to go through it with you anyway. So if you have a look in the instructions, you've got two large black pieces. It outlines all your pieces here for you. Okay, and the first thing to do is to get your two large black pieces, and you see they've got tongues on them. Put one up at an angle and swap them together like that. Come out. The floor will look like that. Okay, and then put 8 screws up the centre. There they are there. So you get a bag of these screws, and all of the rest of your pieces are marked up in bags. Next thing, get a large end panel. You see, push it into the end, and you'll actually hear as it enters down into there, you'll actually hear a clicking sound. Okay, you just push that in. Next thing to do, grab the end panel, push it into the bottom, and make sure it goes in the groove in the corner. Now I've done mine slightly different to their instructions, but what I've done is I've put this corner in, and then I've put the screws in. Make sure that's butted in up to there. Then I've put the screws in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then same process on the other side. Get your end, push it until it clicks. Make sure it's into here again. And put your screws in. Okay, next part is fix the bottom to the side. So each side has 3 screws, so put those in. Next thing, push the bin forwards, and you've got 6 screws to go in the bottom to secure the back, and they're in those slots there. So put your 6 screws in. So inside your packaging you'll have 3 metal bars to go on the back, and they go on with the holes facing towards you. Pop that over the back. Right, so the bar goes all the way inside there. So the way to do it, which I found easiest, would be lift up this end and hold it at an angle, and then push it into there while you're holding the back. And you've got to get it right inside, because it's got to finish on the middle join of the back. Same for that side. Got to go right the way in, and then when you get your third smaller piece, you can see that those holes are going to line up with those holes in there. Okay, but these need a really good push to get them in. The next thing is the corner pieces. Okay, and what you're going to find is there's 2 holes in there that's got to line up with like that, and if you've got the back bars in properly, you'll see that it lines up with those holes as well. You've got 4 of those to do. 2 of them go in the top corners, and the other 2 go down here, look, in this groove in the floor. The one thing I did note, obviously these, there's actually a slot at the front and the back, but it's saying that they go in the front. Now when you put them in the front, they almost look like they don't fit. They almost look like they're too big. And what I had to do was, unless we can do this and film it, I had to give it a bit of pressure at the back. Oh, I can't do it and film it. They do go in, but it needs a bit of a push to get it in there, to push it past that, for the holes to line up. So it needed a bit of shoving. I pushed a screwdriver in there to push it back, but they do click in. Just a bit awkward. One of the other things I should have said, of course, is this is 100 times easier if you've got an electric screwdriver. Probably find it a little bit harder work with just a normal screwdriver. Next bit is to go back to the back, showing somebody pulling the two halves together, and that's so that you can then put your screws not in the middle two, in the outside two only at the moment. Okay, and that's to fix the metal parts together on the back. Next part to do is to put on your 4 hinges, so grab a door. There's the hinge instructions, there's your hinge, so make sure you've got it looking the same as in the picture. There's your holes. You can see that it shows that hole is near the front edge, so that way round, and then open up your hinge and fit it on with 2 screws like that, and do that 4 times. One slightly confusing thing is obviously the hinges go at the top and the bottom. I've noticed there's actually a place for one in the middle, but there's actually only 4 in my box. I don't know about yours, but so one at the top and one at the bottom on each side, and then fix them to the carcass. Just one quick note, if you find that hinge seems like it doesn't fit, I've made the mistake myself. I've fitted it on the wrong way, so this lip needs to come around here, and when that's on correctly, this sits back, and then obviously you've got 3 screws in each one. So if you've got something weird with that, in fact on the other side what I'm doing, look, is I'm putting the hinge on first so I can see that it sits properly, and now I'm going to attach it to the door, so whatever you find easier. So then we've got this long black bar to fit on the back of the left hand door, so long black bar, 3 holes in it, and it's going to fit to here, and you can see the first hole is there. So line that up, and then there's 3 screws just to protect this edge. Next thing to do is to get all of your black parts out of the shrink wrap. Good luck with that. The way they're wrapped, anybody would think they were made of gold and diamond encrusted. And then we're going to get these 2 funny bits out. And as you can see, it says push one end in and click the other end down, and it's the end with the notch in it that goes in that side. So it gets quite a hard shove to get it to there, and then you've got to, because the plastic is bendy when you push down, it should go over there into that hole. Next thing is to fit the handle on. It's called GGN. If you look inside these, they do actually have the letters inside them. So we're going to put that on the door there, and if you look on the back, you've got the screw holes there. Little footnote on that is to make sure that you have the hole on the right hand side, because the bolt's got to go into it. Next thing is to grab the little latch you just assembled, and that's got to go up on the right hand side of the door, which is there. Holes on the back the same. Right, I need to skip along a bit on this because I think my phone's going to die. So next bit is to do your lid. So you get the 2 halves, and you can see there that you've got holes on one side, tangs on the other. So click the 2 halves together. Then you'll have your box of plastic parts, all these little bits, and you will see that they are shaped the way of the lid. So obviously the flat side goes like that, okay, and you push it until it clicks into there. And it's the same for those, 4 on one side, 4 on the other. And then you've got this large curved piece, which when you push that together, you'll see that it fits that groove up the centre, and it needs screwing together. Just a little note on these corner pieces, you can see there's a tang on the back. What you need to do is, I can't do it and film it a little bit, but you need to get the tang in the back first. I can't do it and film it. Get that in there first before you push it round and click it in. Okay. One thing I would say, this is for Keter really, so I keep getting that these sloppy bits of mouldings around the build, and this one, when it's fitting tightly in there, you can see that actually doesn't fit in there very well at all, does it? You're going to have to really force that to get it in the hole, because they're actually butting up against each other instead of just sliding in. So I think there probably needs a bit of improvement on the shape of this part here. One slightly different thing in this part is you'll see that when you do the lid, the screw actually has a washer, and in your packet you should find a little packet of washers. It's the only bit I've seen that needs any washers on this lid fixing. Okay, next bit is to fit the hinges on the lid. You've got to cut that. Be careful when you cut it because obviously they spring open, and then you place it in there with the piston at the front, and that will mean that it's the only way it will go in actually, those holes line up. So look at this one here, this one's open. You can see the piston, this is the piston, it's at the front, and then your holes inside line up for 2 screws. Next bit then is to fit the latch on the front, not at the back. So this thing on the opposite side to the hinges. In there, a couple of holes, fit him on. Then we have this bracket. That one. You've got to fit on the back of the box, which is there. Just make sure you put it on the right way round, so that's facing like that. Okay, I won't be able to film this next bit because it's too heavy to hold and film. So putting your lid on goes through those spaces in the back. And thing to note is that don't let the middle thing you've just fitted hang down. Make sure it's up because it's got a loop over. It's going to fix on that metal bar that you put on earlier in the middle where you left the 2 holes empty. Okay, so getting this lid on really is better if you do it with 2 people, because it's quite hard to hold the weight of it and line these holes up at the same time. Okay, so what if you are on your own? I lifted it up, I put these through the slots on both sides, and then I flicked that over in the middle, and then just got my first screw in and started lining them up. You see one of them, look, is right underneath. Okay, so you got 1, 2, and then the ones that you left empty earlier, because you should have only put one in the 2 outsides, that's for holding that, and that's your lid on. Okay, then it says there's a little packet of plastic bungs, and that's for these holes, and you just put them in the holes. Okay, so this next bit is an option. It's for those of you that are buying it to put your wheelie bins in, and you can see what it is. It's attaching these hooks and a bit of chain that you've got by means of a hook for the bin lid and a clip for the top. If you look in your lid, you'll see when you look up you've got that. Okay, so that needs screwing onto there. Hook your piece of chain on, hook your chain onto that, and that hooks under your bin lid. Okay, so once your wheelie bin's in, every time you lift this lid, the wheelie bin lid will come up as well. That's it, so there's your image with your things on your lids, and that's it. There is room for a padlock if you need one as well. Right, thanks for watching guys. Please subscribe to my channel, it really helps me. Thanks very much again. Bye for now.